This bill benefits no South Carolina citizen, no South Carolina homeowner. It only benefits, in my opinion, corporate builders and insurance companies.
That bill has been introduced at the South Carolina State House and is looking to tackle what it calls tort reforms. That covers things like alcohol sales, liquor stores, and restaurants.
But there's a section in this bill that one construction defect attorney says should be concerning to all South Carolinians, especially homeowners.
In this Live 5 Investigates, Michael Higdon breaks down how this could impact you. She's live for us now, downtown Charleston. Michael?
Well, Bill S.244 is looking to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws. It largely has to do with the percentages of liability and fault across multiple industries, but Section 6 goes further than that, and one local attorney is very concerned when it comes to South Carolina citizens.
John Hayes, an attorney who specializes in construction defects, says the way it's written basically lessens the standards that any builder has to follow.
But what they're trying to do is shorten the amount of time that a homeowner can go after a general contractor for building basically a defective house.
All homes and buildings in South Carolina are required to be built according to what's called the building code, which is the minimum standard. As South Carolina law stands now, you have 8 years to sue a general contractor for defects to your home, with a few exceptions. But Hayes says a lot of these defects show up much later. But the way this new section words it would make it much harder to bring any kind of lawsuit against a builder.
What they're trying to do with this act is say, well, even if you violate the building code, which is a law, if you violate the building code, you can't really go after a builder to pursue them in court unless you've had, significant personal injury or property damage.
Here's a more layman's example of what that means.
Let's say that they put a defective tire on your car. There was something wrong with the tire. What they're basically in essence saying is that if they put a defective tire on your car and you find out it's defective, you can't sue the person that put the defective tire on your car unless the tire blows or a wreck occurs because of it. That's crazy. That's after something has already happened. If a builder does not build a house to a certain standard as required by South Carolina law, you should be able to have them come back and fix that house or sue them for the money needed to fix it.
Hayes says this section of the tort reform bill doesn't benefit anybody except for insurance companies and corporate builders. But Senator Sean Bennett, who represents Charleston and Dorchester counties, is a sponsor of the bill and says that's not necessarily true.
This section specifically looks like it is looking after the home building companies and not the home buyer.
Right.
Talk to us about that.
Well, I don't know that I would agree with that. I think it looks after, first of all, it puts in place, reemphasize what's already in statute, which is an 8-year look back period on defects of homes. So what it says is it comes back and tightens up to that 8-year window, unless there's some gross negligence in play there, and they can still sue for those sorts of instances with some other stipulations in place.
With this bill specifically, it says that unless there is physical harm to a person or there's significant damage to the building itself, how do you tell your constituents that this is looking after them?
Well, because I think that they have the ability to go back and sue. They always have the ability to go back and sue. And if it's within that time frame, again, which is greater than the national average, that they have the ability to go back and get those problems rectified. We're not seeing those problems in other parts of the country. And if there is a situation where those insurance companies need to come back and pay those people, we are certainly going to fight for them and make sure that they're getting their due process.
Bennett adds this bill in general looks after all parties involved in every industry, from home building, manufacturing, the alcohol industry, trucking, and more. He says everybody is going to be improved by the bill, and he believes he has the support of the Senate for it to pass.
Did any lobbyists or any people who contributed to your campaign have any influence on you sponsoring this bill?
Nobody has influence on me from any kind of contributions to my campaign. One of the things that I talk to people about is if you're contributing to Sean Bennett's campaign for any elected office, you have to understand that you're signing on to my agenda and my constituents' agenda, not I'm signing on to your agenda.
But Hayes isn't convinced this bill has the interest of South Carolina citizens.
This is about giving more profits to insurance companies and corporate builders, and it's at the expense of homeowners, South Carolina homeowners, who need that protection. That's why we have these protections in there, is to protect the health and safety and financial well-being of these homeowners. To deprive them of that is just, to me, very scary.
Now, Senate Bill, again, number 244 is in a Senate subcommittee as we speak, but they are anticipating to vote on it in the coming weeks to bring it to the full Senate. Both Hayes and Bennett did encourage, if you have thoughts on this bill, to reach out to your senator, whether an email or a phone call to their office. Hayes also did go testify before the subcommittee recently. If you would like to see what he had to say to those senators, we have that exclusive link on live5news.com under this story. Reporting live for Live 5 Investigates, I'm Michael Higdon.